everyone. This is Wayland Sports Broadcasting. I'm Kaylin Donahue. Today I am interviewing the boys varsity soccer coach, David Gavron. Mr. Gavron, what brought you to coach Wayland soccer?
Ultimately, it was a teaching job that brought me here. Having the opportunity to teach in Wayland's been fantastic over the past 20 years. And I also get to match up my passion of soccer while teaching here, which has been great. When I first came, I started off as the freshman girls soccer coach, which was normal for me because I had been coaching girls prior to it. And then a position opened up on the boys' side, a JV job. So I might as well give that a shot, and that worked out well. And then Coach Snow, the legendary coach for Wayland soccer, retired, and luckily I was the one that was able to get an opportunity to coach at the varsity level, and haven't looked back since getting that chance.
So, as you said, you've coached in high school for quite some time. What are your values as a high school soccer coach?
Most of the boys will readily rattle off for you that family comes first, then academics, then soccer. And I really feel strongly that if we put those, have those as our priorities, then stuff will take care of itself on the soccer field. So if the kids aren't worried about what's happening at home, if they're not worried about academics, then they can really focus in on soccer. Some might say that, hey, why can't we just use soccer as a distraction, from other things going on in life? That happens, but we're not really going to be serving, the student athletes that we're working with if we don't try to get them to have, the priorities that will help them in the future.
Yeah, I really noticed that value because at the beginning of your games, the huddle, they always say family, which I think is really neat and super important for other coaches to develop with their teams. What is it like being a coach and a teacher at the school?
I couldn't imagine doing it any other way because you have an opportunity to see, for me, I have an opportunity to see the boys in a setting outside of, the soccer field. And also I can be there when things happen. Sometimes things that aren't so positive might happen. Maybe an issue in a classroom or issues in the hallways, or maybe they're struggling academically and, I'm able to lend support. I feel that, I did coach at Hamilton Wenham while I was teaching at Masconomet, but I felt so separated from the girls that I was coaching at the time just because I'm not there and not a constant presence in their life. So it's really important that I'm here.
So do you think that being able to know the students on and off the field helps make your connections stronger?
I would hope so, because the more that you can meet a person in their own experiences and get to know them, then hopefully you can build stronger bonds. To me, it just makes sense that if I can know them on the field as well as I get to know them off the field, that we should be able to make tighter connections.
Yeah, I agree. Are you still in touch with any of your previous players?
Oh yes, absolutely. That's a really rewarding part when they reach back out to check in to see how things are going, or if they comment on a social media post about a game or about a player. But I really try to reach out to the alum as much as possible. If you look back over the past few years, maybe even the past decade, it seems like we always have an alum that's on the coaching staff with us. And it's not just one person. Charles Goodhue from the class of '02, he's been with me from day one. But there's all of these other guys that have funneled through in the past few years.
So not only to, of course, making connections with students and just like your love for the game, what about soccer is the most special to you?
Wow. Most special. I just see it as, a beautiful game. It's an incredible game to watch when things are working out well. I understand why some people get turned off or say it's boring when it's a 0-0 game, but knowing what goes into, a game, I guess makes it a lot easier for me to find, love in the game, even in like a 0-0 game.
So at practices, are there certain things that you really hammer into your players so that it affects the game positively?
I would hope that I did or do. As I've gotten older as a coach, I'm leaning more on the players to guide what I'm doing in practice. I know what I want to have happen coming out of a practice preparing like maybe for the next game, but I also spend a lot of time listening to what the boys say or what they think works best. So this idea of, what exactly am I hammering home all the time? I'm not. I mean, there's some simple things like hard to feet, soft to space. That's all I'll leave you with. But when the boys hear this, they'll get a chuckle out of it.
Yes, I'm sure. Can you tell me a little bit about the tryout process and how you help the team prepare for their fall season?
Sure. So most of the boys realize that there'll be some testing that takes place the first couple of days that they can actually prepare for, like maybe running like a 2 mile in a certain amount of time. So we try to make sure that all the candidates know exactly what standards they're trying to reach. And then that's like just one part of it. But we also want to have athletes that understand the game. So it's one thing, you can run 2 miles wicked fast, but do you know? Yeah, soccer IQ. There it is. Yeah. Brilliant.
I know my stuff.
Yes, you do. So that's important to us. And then also, like, how do they relate on the field? All right. If you're quiet all the time on the field, that's not going to help us because we really need to have people that are communicating with each other. So we try to make it as clear as possible what we want from the boys during tryouts. And our coaching staff does a tremendous job of providing feedback to the boys so they know, what it is that they might have missed or where they're weak in areas that they need to improve on.
Are there certain expectations not only on the athletic side and preparing for the fall season? Are there any expectations like academically, like personally, anything that really makes a player stand out or makes someone different than the rest of the group?
So I feel like there's 2 parts to your question there. One part is like, are there expectations on the boys off the soccer field? And then maybe what makes them stand out?
Yeah, like what makes a player really different from everybody else?
So expectations, like academic expectations, that the boys will sit in the front of the classroom.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that.
And really, that's up to the teacher's discretion. I ask them to say, to ask the teacher, hey, can I sit in the front of the classroom? My soccer coach wants me to. But if they have an assigned seating plan, I'm not going to go and complain that they need to change that up. I want them to be the best possible people that they can be. Like, I want them to care about each other, care about themselves, care about what's going on in school.
I think that's really important and special that you think about that as a coach, because it's not only shows that you care about the sport, but it also shows that you care tremendously about the players, and you want them to do the best in their lives and their careers, not only on the pitch but also off. And with that, how do you find other coaches that are similar to you and have those same values as you do?
Wow, another fantastic question, because really I'm just the face of the program. Good face to the program, but I'm just the face to the program. And why we've been successful is that I've been able to find, assistant coaches that buy into what the program stands for and are willing to do everything for the program. So, any of the accolades that I may have received over the years, it's accolades for our entire coaching staff. It's never about me, because I'm not I'm only as good as the people that I work with. So finding good coaches is just talking to people and, getting to know people. A lot of times I'm hitting the alumni, to see if they know of
Yes.
anyone. And, I've got a relationship with a certain alum and they say, hey, this guy is really good. I already know that I trust that alum with whatever he says. So I'm going to give that person an opportunity. So it's really about finding coaches that care about the kids.
Yeah.
And I don't want I don't want the JV coach, the assistant varsity coach, the freshman coach, the middle coach to be like me. I want them to be themselves and support.
And help,
yes.
and help make the group what it is.
Yeah.
How would you, so obviously it's really important for athletes to be good kids, and that's clearly important to you and what makes your team a family. How would you confront poor sportsmanship from your players?
Benching them, taking away captaincies if needed. A lot of times it's in the heat of the moment, it might be me yelling at them, but ultimately it's got to be some conversation that takes place about why I reacted the way I did, or why your specific violation of sportsmanship needs to be addressed in such a dramatic way or a drastic way. It's pretty simple. It's a game. The kids want to play the game. The officials, for the most part, want to make sure that everybody's safe on the field. And really, I just got to try to stay out of the way and let the kids play. But sportsmanship's important because it speaks to your character.
And that's something we all know is very important to you and your coaching staff and the players. Thank you so much for coming today, and I really admire your coaching style and the way you prepare your boys not only for the games but also for life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Holy cow, that was freaking awesome.
I was like, Erie kept
I
doing
know.
the thing and I couldn't. I was like, oh my God, I can't read it. But, oh God, that was
No,
good.
no,
That was good.
it was